Today we are going to study about the topic haloalkanes and haloarenes. This lesson can also be called as halogen derivatives or halogen derivatives of alkanes and arenes. Let's begin with the word haloalkanes. Haloalkanes is made up of two words. The first one, halo, which refers to as halogen, and the other word is alkanes. Now, when we carry out the halogenation of alkanes, let's represent the alkanes as R bond H, and this is being treated with halogen. What happens is one of the hydrogens is being replaced by the halogen atom so that we get R bond X plus HX. Similarly, we can have a reaction for haloarenes also, that is Ar bond H plus X bond X, wherein we will be having one of the halogens replacing the hydrogen atom so that we get the formation of haloarene plus HX. Let's have a look at the definition of haloalkanes and haloarenes. The organic compounds obtained by replacing one or more hydrogen atoms of an aliphatic or aromatic hydrocarbon by the same number of halogen atoms are called as haloalkanes and haloarenes respectively. Let's have a look at the classification of haloalkanes and haloarenes. Haloalkanes and haloarenes can be classified on the basis of hydrocarbon skeleton and based on the number of halogen atoms. Let's have a look at the first one, that is based on hydrocarbon skeleton. Halogen derivatives are classified as haloalkanes, haloalkenes, haloalkynes and haloarenes. Now starting with haloalkanes. To start with haloalkanes, I am just going a little back into the topic with alkanes. Here I have written the formulas of the first 5 members of alkanes, and here we are going to write down the names of these alkanes. The first one is called as methane, the second one is ethane, the third is called as propane, the fourth one is butane, fifth one is pentane. Then we go on with hexane, heptane, octane, nonane, decane. The 11th one being called as the undecane, then dodecane, tridecane and so on till the 20 it is icosane. Now these are the first 5 members I have taken for the explanation. Now when we start removing 1 hydrogen here, 1 hydrogen from these carbons, and the alkane will now becomes a group called as alkyl. So here we have the alkyl group formation, and the first one wherein we have written CH3 and a bond wherein the valence is not satisfied, this will be called as methane will become methyl. Likewise, this will become CH3 CH2 bond. See the next one, CH3 CH2 CH2 and a bond, CH3 CH2 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 and a bond which is unsatisfied here, and the last one CH2 bond. The way methane is now being called as methyl, similarly ethane will now become ethyl, propane will become propyl, butane will become butyl, pentane will become pentyl. From the third one, we start calling it as, in common nomenclature, N-propyl, N-butyl, N-pentyl, where N stands for normal. It stands for a normal chain or a straight chain. Now, from alkyl, I am going to add 1 halogen atom here everywhere. Let's put a chlorine atom. Now when I am putting a chlorine atom, so now this is going to become, the first one will be called as methyl chloride. The second one is going to be called as ethyl chloride. The third one becomes N-propyl chloride. The fourth becomes N-butyl chloride. And the last one here, in my example, it becomes N-pentyl chloride. These are all the common names, or we call them as the trivial names of the haloalkanes. Now let's go for the IUPAC name. For the IUPAC name, the word haloalkanes itself is the keyword. So the first member will be called as chloromethane. Since we are having one carbon, it's one continuous word. There should not be any space in between. The next one is called as chloroethane. Then goes the next, chloropropane. Then goes the next one, chlorobutane. And the last one here, chloropentane. Have a look at the third one, that is propane. In the first one and the second one, we get only one particular compound, that is, in the first one we always get chloromethane, and in the second one you replace the hydrogen atom either from the first carbon or the second carbon. Whichever carbon you are removing the hydrogen and replacing it with the halogen, we are going to get the same compound, that is chloroethane. But this is not the case with the third compound, that is propane. In propane, if we replace the center hydrogen atom with an halogen, that's chlorine, we get a different compound. This compound is called as isopropyl chloride. This is the common nomenclature, isopropyl chloride. And if I want to go for the IUPAC name, we start with the first rule, that is selecting the longest carbon atom chain. So here we have selected the longest carbon atom chain. Then we go with the second rule, that is numbering. You number from either side, from left or right, the functional group, that is chlorine in this case, is going to get number 2. So the functional group should be getting the least number. In this case it's getting 2. So we write it as 2-chloropropane. Now how to identify this iso group? Iso group is always CH3 twice. So at the terminal, whenever we are getting CH3 twice, that means it's an iso group. Let's go on to the next one, that is butane, from which we have got N-butyl chloride. Now, let's have a look at this. When we are replacing a hydrogen atom from the second carbon atom, you go from this side or you go from the other side, and we put over here a halogen, that's chlorine. Let's place chlorine. So what we get is, observe, on one side we are having the CH3 group, and on the other side we are having CH2CH3 group. That means it is definitely not the iso group. So this type of a group, that is on one side or on both the sides you have different groups, and in between you are having CH, then this is called as a sec. So this is sec or secondary butyl chloride. Let's go for the IUPAC. For IUPAC, we select the longest carbon atom chain. The second thing what we do is the numbering. Now if I number from left to right, Observe, my functional group is getting position 2. And if I go from right to left, which I am doing in red color, my functional group is getting position 3. Now in 2 and 3, the least number is 2. So we select the yellow colored numbering, that is wherein I am getting number 2 for my functional group. So I have removed the red one, and here we write down the name 2-chlorobutane. Let's go for the next compound. That's number 5, pentane. Now in pentane, if I am removing, let me draw it. If I remove the hydrogen from the third carbon, or if I remove the hydrogen from the second carbon atom, observe, let's take the first one what I have drawn. Observe, in the first one, the center one is CH, and on both the sides what we are having is ethyl, ethyl. Once again, definitely it is not iso. If it is not iso, it has got to be sec. So this is called as sec pentyl chloride. Let's have a look at the next one. As I said, CH is at center, it is the second carbon atom from my left hand side. So on that we are putting a Cl. So on one side it is having methyl, and on the other side it is having propyl. Once again, this is going to be called as sec pentyl chloride. Now here comes the problem. Both are being now named as sec pentyl chloride. That's why the common nomenclature is not used for all the compounds. Since the common name has become the same, what we prefer is IUPAC. So let's have a look at the IUPAC. Selecting the longest carbon atom chain in both the cases. See the first case over here, the carbon is going to get number 3. You number it from left side or you number it from the right hand side. It is always going to get number 3. So this is called as 3-chloropentane. Let's go on to the next one. Let's number it. If I go from left to right, my functional group, that is chlorine, is going to get number 2. And observe, if I go from right to left, my functional group is going to get number 4. So which are we going to prefer? It is very obvious that we are going to prefer the one which is having least numbering, and the least numbering is the yellow one, and so we write down the name here as 2-chloropentane. It's 2-chloropentane. Now let's take a few more examples for iso. Have a look at the examples what I have written. In all these examples, I have marked the terminal group in blue color. This group is CH3 twice, which is called as the iso group. So all these compounds will be named as iso. The next thing what we do is count the total number of carbons. In the first one, apart from the 3 in the box, we have one more which is outside. So this will be called as isobutyl bromide. Check the next one. It's called as isopentyl bromide. Go for the next. It is isohexyl. The next one is called as isoheptyl. And the last one is called as isooctyl. And all these are bromides. Now what I have written is the common nomenclature, or we call it as the trivial nomenclature. Now let's go for the IUPAC. For the IUPAC, we have to select the longest carbon atom chain. That's the first point. The second point is we have to select the functional group carbon atom, and the functional group carbon atom should be getting the least number. Observe, In the first case, we are having the bromine at this particular carbon atom, which will be now numbered as 1. So wherever is the functional group, that particular carbon will be getting number 1. So this will be called as 1-bromo. See, the methyl group is not inside the green box. That's why that becomes a substituent, and the substituent number is 2. So this will be called as 1-bromo, 2-methyl, and in the green box we are having 3 carbons. That's why the parent is propane. See the next example. Once again we select the longest carbon atom chain and we start numbering with the carbon atom which is attached to the functional group. So the functional group is going to get number 1. So we write the name as 1-bromo. This is the IUPAC name. And 3-methyl, third position, we are having the methyl group which is outside the green box, and there are total 4 carbons in the green box, so the parent is butane. Let's go on for the next one. Selecting the longest carbon atom chain. Likewise, I do for all these compounds, that is selecting the longest carbon atom chain. Observe, whenever we are having the case of iso, at the first position we always have the functional group. Observe, in all the cases the first position we have the functional group, and the second last carbon we are having a substituent. So in this case the second last carbon is the 4th one, here we have the 5th one, and the last one we are having the 6th one. Let me number it a little quickly. So the third one will be named as, it's going to be named as 1-bromo, 4-methyl, and the parent is pentane. Check the next one. It will be named as 1-bromo, 5-methyl, and the parent is going to be hexane. The last one here, 1-bromo, 6-methyl, and the parent is going to be heptane. Hope you have understood.